Hey guys, this is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Rian Johnson, how director Rian Johnson will not go away. He won't go away.
No, well, he's not going to go away because there's a movie coming out. But in regards to Star Wars, he keeps, going there and bringing it up. Like, don't forget about me. I'm still here.
Yeah, we talked about this the other day, but he's really ramping it up now to promote Knives Out. But he's also, I think he's kind of throwing some shade at the Rise of Skywalker a little bit, because there have been rumors that they're going to sort of undo or retcon some of his dumb decisions in The Last Jedi by making more dumb decisions in The Rise of Skywalker, which is effectively going to make a trilogy that nobody cares about in 10 years. So before we get into the video, please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Helps us continue to make content like this, given our hot takes on pop culture. It also helps us with the YouTube algorithm. It's hugely important that you guys subscribe, so please do that. I think we're up to almost 58,000. Over 58,000?
Yeah, we're almost to 59.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. So here we go. This coming from comicbook.com. Star Wars The Last Jedi Backlash reminds director Rian Johnson of The Empire Strikes Back criticism.
Here's the thing. When Empire Strikes Back came out, he was only like 10. No, he was younger than that.
He was like 7.
Yeah, so how would he remember what? Because I'll tell you what, I'm not as old as he is, but I'm not super far off of where he is, and I can tell you for a fact I don't remember all the I remember the movies and all the hype and the toys. I don't, as a child, remember all the news articles and everything else on criticisms.
Yeah, I don't think he remembers, because I remember. Okay, now actually The Empire Strikes Back was one of the first movies I went to go see, but I did not see it. I was too young. I did not go see it in the original release. I went to go see it when they re-released it right before Jedi came out.
That could be what he's talking about too, but even then he still had only been 10.
The Empire Strikes Back did not have, I don't remember it having that much criticism. I do remember Return of the Jedi having a bunch of criticism, because I remember there were even like fan magazines dedicated to trashing how much people hated Return of the Jedi because of the Ewoks, because of the second Death Star.
I love the Ewoks.
But I'm just saying,
hate porgs.
I do remember.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. I do remember backlash against Return of the Jedi. It was fashionable to trash Return of the Jedi until the prequels came out, and then it was all like prequel.
It's
hate.
Always fashionable to trash whatever the current one is, but
But well, then people are gonna be like, well, then of course Last Jedi's
he's comparing his thing to Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
it's like putting it on the same level.
He is kind of putting his movie on the same level as The Empire Strikes Back. And no, I do not remember there being as much criticism, but this is all about promoting Knives Out. We'll talk about that after this. So, to say Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi had a mixed reception among fans would be dramatically underselling the issue.
But I thought it was only a vocal minority.
Yeah, the film remains massively divisive nearly 2 years after its release. Fans either love it or hate it.
Hate everything about it.
Everything about it, and have declared Johnson to have ruined the entire franchise. It's a reaction that is, in many ways, not too dissimilar to how another entry in the franchise was received when it hit theaters long ago, The Empire Strikes Back. No, that's not what happened. I don't think this writer remembers. That film, widely considered by many to be the best in the saga to date.
Oh, wait, so there's... That's what they're saying. Oh, my God. This is just like what happened to Empire Strikes Back. Everybody thinks that's the best one. And look, Rian Johnson's getting the exact same treatment, so does that mean it's going to be the best one?
Oh my God. That's not what happened. Didn't go over well during its initial release? No. And it's something that Johnson finds similar. No, that's not what happened. Do some fact checking. That's not actually what happened. In a recent interview with Uproxx, Johnson was asked about the similarities between the reception of the two films, and the filmmaker explained that he too remembers initially being disappointed by Empire only for it to become his favorite. It's a situation that many fans of the franchise at the time have found themselves in. I literally have not heard anybody who was alive then saying that they hated Empire Strikes Back.
I don't either. I mean, honestly, you keep saying about Return of the Jedi being the worst, but that's one I like the best. But Empire's I want my second favorite, and I'm like usually everybody's talks about Empire being the best one ever. I've never heard anybody say, well, I hated it, but then I learned to love it, dude. And I'm sorry, no matter how many times I watched, which I never actually watched the Last Jedi again, and I'm not going to.
We're in the theater.
It's never going to become my favorite ever.
No, Empire
never.
The only thing I was confused by as a kid with Empire Strikes Back is the cliffhanger ending. That threw me, but again, I watched it in its second release or third release or whatever the hell it was, right before Jedi came out.
So it wasn't so bad.
It wasn't so bad. So for me, I think it was just like a couple of months until Jedi came out. It was like, oh, okay, they do get Han out of the carbonite. So that was...
Oh, spoiler.
Spoiler. Are we allowed to talk about that? Is that thing? They get Han out of the carbonite. So, yeah. That was the only thing that kind of threw me as a kid. I do not remember any backlash, and he is not much older than we are. I remember the kids.
I'm older than you, and he's older than me. So, but still,
every kid back then wanted an AT-AT walker. That was their thing. That was like the holy grail of toys.
Yeah.
Back then was if you had a walker, you were the freaking cool kid.
I'm trying to think how people are disappointed in that. Yeah, you had Hoth, and you had the Wampas, and you had the Tauntauns, and the AT-AT walkers, and then you go to Yoda and Dagobah, and you got Yoda. Who, and all that. Yeah. And then you have, Bespin and Lando and all that stuff and Haunted Carbonite and Boba Fett. I mean there's nothing about that movie that I can think people have been like, this is disappointing. Let's compare it to The Last Jedi. So in Empire Strikes Back, you have, all these new characters and creatures and cool things. And you have, this big reveal that Darth Vader is Luke's father and all this other stuff. And the big reveal in The Last Jedi was that Rey's nobody. You have the big cave where he has to face himself and finds out that he can be like he's like part of Vader. She is in the cave and she's nobody.
Yeah. I don't, there was, and then even like toys, think about the toys, because when we were kids, the toys were hugely important. We had walkers, and they were all new. It was all new stuff. We had walkers, we had tons of Yoda toys. One of my first Star Wars figures, I think Greedo was my very first Star Wars figure. Yoda was my second. And I was little at the time, so I'm just like, oh, cool, green aliens. I like those. And I think my very first playset was actually Dagobah, because I needed a place for Yoda to hang out.
That's right.
And I had a Yoda hand puppet when I was a kid. So it was like, no, I'm sorry, I don't remember this. This is retconning history to shut people up about The Last Jedi. Yeah, and it's not true. It's simply not true.
Trying to spin it. Well, everybody loves Empire Strikes Back's beloved now. So will The Last Jedi.
It'll in time. People will come to appreciate
my genius.
Yeah, kind of like Jabba. In time you'll come to love me, appreciate me, Leia, as I lick you.
Well, I thought you meant in time people would come to appreciate the really bad CG Jabba in the re-releases. And they never did.
They never did. They had to they had to redo it. And to less bad, but still bad CG Jabba. I do remember Backlash against Return of the Jedi, though, but that actually continued into the 90s, well into the 90s. So to sort of explain how The Empire Strikes Back was received back in the day, was this person actually alive? Nicole Drum? I don't think Nicole Drum was actually alive. I'm going to guess. We need to actually see some of the responses ourselves. When the film was released, Sci-Fi Magazine Starlog was one of the popular sources for geek news. I actually remember getting Starlog. Do you even know what Starlog is? And fans wrote in with their thoughts, kind of like how people take to social media today. In 2017, the website, A Critical Hit, compiled some of the responses.
They could have just gone and picked out like the 5 that were bad
to defend The Last Jedi. Yeah, and the mixed response has quite a few parallels to the responses.
So wait, they didn't. So let me get this straight. So they didn't to defend The Last Jedi. They went and found responses that fit what they wanted in The Empire Strikes Back and put them together.
So yeah, I know. So these are the complaints. There are 2. We've got 2. We got 2. Okay, is Luke related to Vader? These are letters to Starlog. Most think so now that Vader came right out and said it. Well, I say, do you believe everything you hear? Vader may have just lied to enlist Luke to his side. Vader would then dispose of Luke once he got what he wanted. That's not a criticism. That's speculation. Is Vader lying to Luke? And they had to. People were so torn about that, they actually had to spell it out in Return of the Jedi. Flat out. Is he my father? Yeah. Okay. Because the audience didn't understand. I know they wanted to leave something to settle in the other sequels, but they left a little too much. For instance, Han Solo's predicament. The movie should not have ended until Han was either killed by Boba Fett or Jabba, or rescued by Lando or Chewbacca, the former preferably. Also, the fate of Bespin is not told. Was it taken by Lando's troops, taken by Imperial troops, or destroyed by Vader? I do like Lando as Billy D. Williams. Very good. That, again, that's not a criticism, really. It's just like, I wish they wouldn't have had a cliffhanger ending. And that was the only thing when I was a kid.
That's all they said. That's what both of these were.
Yeah, that's not like you completely destroyed a character. You completely shoved politics into a movie that didn't need it. You know, you completely ruined the tone of Star Wars. You completely undid the other movies. I mean, it's not
They're
even...
not comparable at all.
That's not even apples to oranges. That's like apples to kumquats or something.
Oh, wait,
like,
here. They're going to say that that was offensive.
It wasn't offensive. There were even responses that declared The Empire Strikes Back offensive. Something more that something that there are echoes of in certain pockets of the viewing audience's response to the more central role for women in The Last Jedi. It had nothing
to do with it. Okay, you know what? I'm a woman. I am so... God forbid. My mom, sorry, cover your ears, Mom. I'm so fucking tired of hearing that women, it's cause men don't like, oh, it's all because men, they don't like strong female characters. No. I am so tired of this because I am a woman. You know, I'm tired of being marginalized. Here's what it is. Women, they inserted characters who no one knew who they were. They had no previous whatever. They just flipping showed up. And then they suddenly were, you know, there. They were simply there to put men in their place. Holdo was simply there because you made Poe a dick, and you had to have Holdo show him what was what because he had to learn to take orders from a woman. She never had anything prior to this. You retconned her sense in books and stuff. Nothing prior. She just shows the flip up, and everybody's supposed to be like, "Oh my God, it's Holdo!" And she just basically they make Poe an asshat. I'm gonna say asshat, and then she has to go and then put him in his place. Basically she did Leia's job. That was the whole point of Holdo. Rose is only there to take Finn's agency away when he can't decide his own fate because she loves him. And she's there to be, to take them on a side quest where they're trying to save horses. I'm like, right? That really, she has no point whatsoever. And now she's going to be the next one. It's nothing against the actors. They're just doing their job. I do not go out and troll Kelly Marie Tran because she didn't do anything. She was just doing her job, and she did good with what she had to work with. But this whole, and Rey is a flippin' Mary Sue. She was more likable in The Force Awakens. Way more likable. So I'm like, you know what? And then you can use Rey to ruin Luke. So, no! This isn't about hating on strong female characters. Strong female characters have been in Star Wars for a long time. Go look at Mara Jade. Leia. Everything else. Mon Mothma. There's women characters that were there that were established. They weren't just there to insert women into it and to show why, and to basically knock men down a peg to make women, elevate women. And that's what it was. And I'm a woman. I'm a writer too, and this is lazy writing. So, there you go.
So what they're saying is eventually the division over The Empire Strikes Back gave way to the film being highly regarded and much loved. No, there wasn't a lot of division. They're retconning fan reaction because they're trying to defend this damn movie and the stupid choices in it. Here's Rian Johnson. Yeah, it sticks. That's why the one that, even though at the time that I had a reaction to it, it stuck in me. It got shoved in me, and it resonated with me. I remember the prequels, the acrimony of the prequels. I went to go see Phantom Menace 3 times in the theater. I think people forgot exactly the tenor of the danger. We remember because we were in the thick of it.
So I didn't feel danger in this. Did you feel danger in this?
I felt no danger. Actually, it's so weird.
I don't think you could decide what it was.
And before I continue with this, I'm gonna talk about someone I had a conversation with who's actually a kind of a Disney Star Wars defender, but that person does not like The Last Jedi, and they said The Last Jedi served absolutely no purpose. It didn't move the story forward. It didn't grow the characters in any meaningful way. They're like, the problem I have with The Last Jedi is it basically was filler. It was 2 hours of filler. It didn't move anything anywhere. Basically, just the whole purpose was
it ends where it starts.
Yeah. It's like they're in exactly the same place where they started.
Even to the place where Finn's injured.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't even, it's like, it was just such, it was kind of like, reminds me of like one of those, they kind of did this in the comics and stuff too, in the novels, where they have the kind of, sometimes the apocryphal books where they have to like, oh, here's a little side story. We're going to tell a little story. And then we need to make sure that the characters all go back to exactly where they were. So when the next movie comes out, we haven't destroyed any of the chess pieces.
Well, Finn's another one that I got mad about because they had this big thing with him in the first one where he leaves, and he leaves the Empire, and they set him up to be like, hey, he finds his courage and all that, and then immediately in the next one he's a complete wuss again trying to leave because Rose is there to stop him. There was no reason for it. It just doesn't even make sense. And it simply was, you had to lower men to elevate women. And why, that's what makes me mad about this movie, because in other movies in Star Wars, women held their own with the men. They didn't have to be given a special elevation, story element to put them above it. They held their own. They didn't have to lower the male characters and make them suddenly jerks, deserters, or whatever to make the women strong. They didn't, and they didn't. They would have just held their own on their own. I mean, then you have Phasma, who basically is a piece of nothing in both movies.
Well, okay, so that's what I want to talk about, and this is the conversation I had with this person who I'm not
sorry,
kidding.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay, because I'm saying the conversation I had is that, and I'm going to bring up Phasma, because basically it leaves all the characters in pretty much the exact same place that they were at the end of The Force Awakens, because we have, Han's still dead, obviously. Leia was knocked out for most of Last Jedi, now she's back. They introduce Holdo and they kill her in the same movie. They introduce that, what's his name, DJ, Benicio del Toro's character. Again, he's gone. Phasma, she was out of the picture at the end of The Force Awakens, and now she's dead, she's gone. So, and Finn's injured. The only difference is now we have Rose. Other than that, Luke was missing, well, now he's dead.
It's
so
the same thing.
Other than that, everybody is literally at the exact same place where they started.
You went nowhere. You just wasted a couple hours of your life.
Right. Like, you could actually skip The Last Jedi, I'm thinking, with The Rise of Skywalker, and it's not going to make a difference.
That's good, because we won't even... That's the only Star Wars movie we don't own.
Yeah, literally.
It's the only one we don't own.
We even have Solo, but we don't have The Last Jedi. So he's talking about how fans can be passionate, and that's one side of it, and he appreciates that. But he's trying to... I just love this. They're trying to retcon... Even back when the movie came out, they were trying to make parallels between The Last Jedi and The Empire Strikes Back, and draw on these... Again, it's the same thing. These are like these are mild criticisms. They talk about, like, they're confused about the cliffhanger ending. And the reason Lucas did that is, one, they knew they were making a sequel, and two, he was trying to echo the serials of the 1930s, like Flash Gordon. Mm-hmm. The Vader thing, like, why didn't Vader just come, is Vader lying? That's not a criticism. That's like a,
is that what's going on?
Who's Snoke? Come on, Leia, why don't you take a look around? Can't you see what Luke is up against? You could have a nice guy like him. So it's talking about, the criticism is like...
Why isn't she with Luke?
Sometimes it's downright offensive. Okay, so here, Billy D. Williams is the token black in the film.
Well, that actually could be argued.
There's only one other woman apart from Carrie Fisher. That's not offensive. That's basically a criticism of George Lucas, that they thought the movie was kind of racist because Lando's the only black guy in Star Wars, and there aren't very many women in it.
Yeah.
That's not an offensive thought. That's Starlog's own staff writer wasn't a huge fan of the movie. I liked it, I really did. I didn't like it enough. Just about every other critic in the country has been telling you how good the picture... Wait a minute.
You mean this? Yeah, that definitely sounds like The Last Jedi.
They've been falling over themselves to tell you. It's embarrassing. I feel guilty for not liking it as much as I'm supposed to. No, this is so stupid. This is not even.
Well, that right there, no, I think that's pretty accurate. Every flippin' blog in the country that's, trying to kiss up to Disney is going on how great The Last Jedi is, and how people just, why don't you like it? There's, this vocal minority who doesn't like it. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll give them that parallel.
Yeah, but these criticisms are mild. They're not like, you destroyed the franchise. You performed character assassination on... Now, granted, it was a young franchise then, and this is the first sequel, but these are not even in the same league, and they're trying to...
Say they are.
They're trying to basically say that The Last Jedi is going to hold up as well or
better.
Or be better in retrospect than, like...
Because these 5 criticisms.
That's so stupid. When Return of the Jedi came out, it wasn't a massive financial failure because people hated The Empire Strikes Back. And, again, he says he was a little kid when this happened. I remember being a little kid, and all the little kids liked Empire Strikes Back. They all liked Return of the Jedi, too. But people did have some more criticism of Return of the Jedi because the Ewoks, they thought they were too cute and all that. But for the most part, that criticism with the general public was not there.
Right. Well, I love this. Don't you see? I love the last one. All in all, it sounds like The Last Jedi is getting similar treatment The Empire Strikes Back received all those years ago, only amplified by the presence of the internet. No, time will tell where it lands in the saga's best of rankings. It's garbage. It's not even...
Who's best of ranking? So, I mean, we already know.
Rian Johnson's like, I'm going to be like Empire.
God.
No.
So this is
You're
all
not
about
Empire, sir.
No, this is all about Knives Out, and Rian Johnson said multiple times he wanted to make a divisive movie. We'll link to that. He said he wants people to walk out of the theater being split.
Now, to be fair, though, he did say this 15 years ago.
He did,
So
and he said as much.
And being fair, and not, in the honor of fairness.
But it shows where his head is, though, how he thinks about stuff. And he deliberately set out, I think, to make an indie Star Wars movie, and Lucasfilm was asleep at the wheel.
And meanwhile, other indie Star Wars stories are actually good to get told. They don't have to promote their stuff. So anyway.
So this is all about promoting Knives Out, which, all the indie press, including IndieWire, of course, love it because it's a Rian Johnson movie, and they love Rian Johnson. He's subversive. Knives Out review: Rian Johnson's hugely entertaining whodunit offers sharp takedown of white entitlement. They're already talking sequel on IndieWire. Knives Out sequel starring Daniel Craig already being eyed by Rian Johnson.
By Rian Johnson. That doesn't mean anything.
This is like he's got a raging case of premature sequelation, or something, because he's the only one. Rian Johnson is the only one talking about his Star Wars trilogy.
It says right here. They got rave reviews, and Rian Johnson is already kickstarting sequel talk.
Everybody wants a sequel. Everybody wants a sequel.
I mean, everybody who makes a film.
Right. Everybody who makes a film. Well,
not everybody wants a sequel.
No. But I'm just saying he's already going on. But Toronto's raving about all the outlets that love The Last Jedi are raving about this. But I will be fair. This is more of an indie film. This seems like he's better suited to this sort of thing. This isn't a pre-existing franchise, so it is its own thing. So he can do with it whatever he wants. And it might be a decent enough movie. I just think that they should have kept a guy like him off of Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, something like this he might excel at.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. This Star Wars is not his forte. I'm sorry. Something like this, I'm not saying he couldn't be good at it. It could totally be a really good movie, and he could be really good at it. That's not the problem. The problem is something like Star Wars isn't what he is good at. Sorry. No. It's not.
No.
Ryan.
And, Rotten Tomatoes loves it. It debuted at a film festival.
24.
All the critics that saw it at the film festival, they think it's brilliant. I remember watching the trailer for it in the theater. I forget what we went to go see, but I'm watching it. And I'm like, oh, look, they're remaking Clue.
That's what I kind of
they're remaking Clue. But again, this is his thing. This is his thing. But the critics are going to love this. It's Rian Johnson. They're kind of split on the Joker, even though the Joker's getting. But
there's 50 reviews there.
Yeah.
And there's 24 on the other one.
And the biggest complaint
let get some more reviews and we'll see.
Right. The biggest complaint about the Joker, even though they said Joaquin Phoenix is amazing, is, oh my God, the incels. And
then on the Knives Out, they're like, it's just taking down white entitlement.
It's taking down white entitlement.
The movie with a bunch of white actors and done by a white director is taking down white entitlement.
Oh God. So there you go. Rian Johnson reminding you that
he's as good as Empire.
The Last Jedi is as good as Empire.
And white entitlement's bad.
So we're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. This has been Neon and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.